Hi, I'm Greg Columbus. My guest at this time is Kristen Day. She's Executive Director of Democrats for Life. She is in South Carolina ahead of Saturday's Democratic presidential primary, urging her party to reverse course on the abortion issue. Her effort comes as multiple Democratic candidates have plainly stated that in their minds there is no room for opposition to abortion within the party. And Kristen, thanks so much for being with us.
Oh, thank you so much for having me on today.
Well, you gained some notoriety on a Fox News town hall with Pete Buttigieg for challenging him on whether there is room for pro-life Democrats in the party. And I know his answer did not exactly satisfy you. And since then, folks like Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren have said even more plainly that they don't believe there's room for opposition to abortion. And perhaps there have been other candidates as well. To my knowledge, only Amy Klobuchar, who is staunchly pro-choice, has actually said she still wants you in the party. So how are you and other pro-life Democrats responding to this?
Yeah, so the most amazing thing is after that town hall, there's just been an outpouring of interest, support, and advocacy in support of pro-life Democrats from people who have been quiet for decades. So we're seeing people going to other events and asking the question of their leaders of why do you not want pro-life Democrats in the party? Why are you excluding people who want to be in the party and vote Democrat? So for me, it's disappointing to see all the presidential candidates take this really extreme position. But on the other hand, it's awoken pro-life Democrats across the country to start fighting back.
Just how far left have the Democrats gotten on this? I mean, the Democrats have been, for the most part, a pro-choice party ever since Roe v. Wade. But as you pointed out at the town hall, since the 1990s, it's gotten quite a bit more extreme. So what's the reason for that?
Yeah, it's exactly. The abortion lobby has been able to raise a lot of money and get their people in high up positions to really have a lot more influence in the party. But what they don't care about the party. They only care about their issue. And so what people are hopefully going to start to recognize is, the South used to be blue, and now it's all red. And Democrats in 2010 held 27 states as a trifecta, meaning governor, House, and Senate. Now they only hold 15. So Democrats are losing over this issue, and they better wake up before the party continues to be smaller and smaller.
As you pointed out with all the reaction you've gotten, Democrats are not a pro-choice monolith, despite what we might be led to believe in the media and elsewhere. Just how strong is the pro-life position within the party? How many Democrats self-identify as pro-life, for example?
There are about 21 million. About a third of Democrats consider themselves pro-life or identify as pro-life. But when you look at people who oppose bans after the first trimester, that's about 70% of Democrats oppose abortion after the first trimester. So the Democratic leadership and the Democratic platform is wildly out of touch with mainstream Democrats on this issue. So I'm encouraged to see more people speaking up. I think, we have somebody going to an event next week for somebody who's running for U.S. Senate, and they're going to ask the question, and they're going to wear their pro-life for the whole life sticker that says, I'm pro-life and I'm in the party and you have to listen to me. Now, we can't continue to go down this abortion extremism.
Kristen, you just mentioned the U.S. Senate, and just this week, on Tuesday actually, two pieces of pro-life legislation went before the Senate. One was to ban most abortions after 20 weeks of pregnancy, since there's a pretty solid consensus that the unborn can feel pain at that stage. The other would require medical care for babies who are born after surviving an attempted abortion. The vast majority of Democrats voted to kill those bills. So what's your reaction to lawmakers from your party voting that way?
It's really upsetting to see those in the Senate not support these, because they talk about providing health care to all, Medicare for all, we need to provide health care. And then they take this little baby who basically received the death sentence and then survives, and they don't think that child deserves health care. It's crazy. It makes no sense whatsoever. It just shows how much they're listening to the abortion lobby and their rhetoric rather than looking at the truth of what the bill actually does. When you watch the debate on the bill, they keep talking about Roe v. Wade and abortion, and this bill has nothing to do with abortion. It has everything to do with health care, which Democrats are supposed to support.
Kristen, what are you going to do? And what are you hearing from other people? Obviously, you're very passionate about being a pro-life Democrat. For the most part, the candidates don't seem very interested in trying to find common ground with you. I'm guessing there are other issues that make you a Democrat since you're pro-life and the party has not. So if someone asks you, why are you still a Democrat? What do you tell them?
I believe that the Democratic Party is wrong on this issue, and they need to turn right on this issue and be consistent with what the party stands for, helping the little guy, providing health care to people who need it. And so they're wrong on this issue. And deregulating the abortion industry. Have you ever met a Democrat who doesn't like a regulation? If you think about that. And they're actually deregulating an industry that makes abortion less safe for women, which is inconsistent with their position. So, I think we have to stay and fight back. I mean, this has been a lonely road to walk. And I tell you, since that town hall in Des Moines, when I talked to Pete Buttigieg, it has been so much less lonely. I feel like people are just coming out of the woodwork to walk with me and speak up. And I'm encouraged that we are going to make an impact. We're not standing down. We're not going to let the abortion lobby win.
And lastly, and you certainly have the right as an American citizen to not answer this question, but you're in South Carolina now, but I know from the little graphic that popped up during the town hall that you live in Virginia, which votes on Tuesday. Have you decided how you're going to vote? I
have not decided how I'm going to vote yet. That is still up for debate. I think if I had to vote and make a decision today, it would probably be for Amy Klobuchar because she's the only one who has said that the Big Tent should be open to pro-life voters. Again, though, she has a very strong abortion rights record, and, it depends on what she means by opening the Big Tent. Is she willing to change the Democratic platform to really show that there's diversity and inclusion in the party for pro-life voters? Is she willing to have a DNC chairman who will say that, yes, you can be pro-life and vote that way? So there's a lot of issues that need to be worked out before November. I think that's when it's going to be the real test. For Democrats, whether they want pro-life voters to vote in the general election or not.
Well, Kristen, you've already had an impact on not only this campaign, but also on the cultural debate that's been now going on for nearly 50 years, simply by asking a question at that town hall. As you mentioned, a lot of folks suddenly feel that they're not alone in that position. So we'll see what impact it has both on the campaign trail and beyond. Thank you very much for your time today.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Kristen Day is the Executive Director of Democrats for Life. I'm Greg Columbus reporting for Radio America.